Back with Steve Hilton and me, former Attorney General in the Bush administration, Michael Mukasey. Good to have you here. This is, if we could get your reaction to what is just a sort of a confounding order from another district judge.
Yeah, I was mentioning before we started, it's kind of hard to come up with a respectful way to describe this opinion. It is sort of the dirty mind theory of statutory interpretation or executive order interpretation. If the judge figures you have a dirty mind, then everything you do is the work of a dirty mind.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what you do, it matters what you said at an earlier time. That's just farcical.
Let me put up some of the dirty words that emanated from the judge's own mind. This is remarkable from District Court Judge Derek Watson. Because a reasonable objective observer enlightened by the specific historical context, contemporaneous public statements, and specific sequence of events leading to its issuance, dirty all I suspect, would conclude that the executive order was issued with the purpose to disfavor a particular religion in spite of its stated religiously neutral purpose. Is there ever a point in law where words become more meaningless than this?
Justice Scalia, I think, described a statute as applesauce, and I think that's about as close as
applesauce as it gets.
That's right.
It is stunning. And Steve, your thoughts? I mean, we're talking about round 2 in an executive order.
It's unbelievable.
Under 212F of the U.S. Code is clearly gives the president the power to do.
That's why it was so appropriate and helpful to everyone for him for the president to specifically read that out so clearly, giving the president the power to do what he's done. And that statement from the judge, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but that seemed to be like it had nothing to do with the law. That was pure politics. That was subjective opinion, not based on any kind of legal reading whatsoever.
That order recited at some length, and in the case of each of the countries selected, what it was in each of those countries, whether it was their inability to run their country and control their citizenry, or, as in the case of Iran, that they ran their country all right, except they were sworn enemies of the United States. Reasons why people from those countries would be cut off for the moment until we could find out a way of vetting them. What he said essentially is that that's all a lie.
Yeah, and put over that, if you will, that template, the reality that all of those countries were selected by the Obama administration as representing a threat to the United States because of the jihadist nature and culture of the countries and their historical experience.
And endorsed by Congress, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny.
And remember that this whole thing is temporary anyway, whilst the extreme vetting that was so prominently put forward in the campaign is put in place by government agencies.
Understand, as a matter of policy, I don't think geography is really the way to do this. You can vet people, I believe, based on whether they are committed to Sharia supremacy.
Right.
That's the way to do it. And when they start doing that, you're going to hear the howls
that's such an important
from coast to coast.
And
but
people,
that's the way it can be done and should be done.
And people, judges, seem to be forgetting that it was FBI Director James Comey who said that we could not adequately vet people from these countries himself. I want to turn very quickly to health care. We're stymied again there by a House leadership that has made some peculiar choices, but let's say that they can be fixed by a president who can negotiate a deal. This became, in my judgment, Trump care tonight with his enthusiastic endorsement of the process going forward. A quick thought.
He seems to have embraced the Ryan proposal rather than the proposal that apparently some conservatives in the House favor, and that's a big commitment.
It's a big moment.
Look, the big problem here is actually nothing to do with the content. It's to do with the congressional process, this ridiculous in-the-weeds process that poor Ryan's got us stuck into. And if the president can help unblock that, get that competition into healthcare, which apparently is coming in stages 2, 3, whatever, and stick it into stage 1, which is what I think will get a lot of the rest of the party on board, then that will be a huge service.
This might be an incorrect interpretation of what you gentlemen have said here tonight, but the only thing wrong with our government is the way in which it is organized and peopled. But we'll do better.
It's organized fine based on the Constitution. It's peopled rather badly.
And there it is. Michael Mukasey, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Steve Hilton, thank you so much.
Thank you.